Welcome everyone to our webinar in which we will present you what Bitdefender has to offer you as an MSP reseller today. We at FieldTrust, we are a high value, added value distributor for Bitdefender for over 5 years now. We represent 8 international brands, amongst which is Bitdefender, and we're a 100% channel company, which means we support around 400 resellers, mainly in the Benelux and France region. Being a high added value distributor means we have a very close relationship with our partners. That means we offer everything from A to Z, from sales training support, technical training and support, after sales, pre-sales, product information, exclusive webinars, tips and tricks, marketing support, and so on. For the main event, I'm passing the word to David Lawton, who is a sales engineer at Bitdefender, and who will be presenting you more specific the GravityZone Cloud MSP security. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. We will be answering your questions in a Q&A session at the end of this webinar. Thank you. Up to you, Dave.
Okay, thank you, Bart. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. I'm Dave Lawton, sales engineer for Bitdefender, based here in the UK. So, my brief agenda here. I'm going to cover off, who Bitdefender is and why you should be working with us, or why we think you should be working with us. I'm going to talk about MSP security and the GravityZone Cloud. I'll break into some of the technologies that we use. I'll give you a brief view of how easy it is to onboard customers into the GravityZone Cloud. Okay, so who are we? Bitdefender's been around for nearly 20 years now. We are very much an innovator. A lot of our business is done through OEM relationships and MSP relationships. We also have a very large base of small businesses and home users, as well as enterprises. We are approximately 1,600 employees spread around the world. And one of the things that does make us different is we are very much an engineering and R&D led company. Over half of our employees are involved in that area. We have over 150 OEM partners. These people are using some form of our technology in their product. So very often the Bitdefender name is not seen, and very often we're not allowed to discuss who those customers are. But we actually believe that about 38% of endpoint products out there use some form of Bitdefender technology within their products. So it might be firewalls, UTMs using our anti-malware engines. It might be some buying our threat intelligence. There's a whole array of technologies that we provide and sell into those partners. We also have over 20,000 partners worldwide that actually sell our product, GravityZone, which I'm going to discuss in more detail, to end users as well. So we, as I said, have been around for 20 years. We are recognized by a number of different people out there. Forrester recently described us as the biggest EDR vendor you haven't considered but should. We are, as I said, very much an engineering-led company. Our rankings are very, very high with those third-party testers. We're used by a number of large organizations throughout the world. And on the screen there, you can see some of those that we're allowed to talk about and show. We also have key technology partnerships with those listed on the right there, and I'll discuss some of those as we move forward later, and you'll understand the relevance of some of those. One of our key strengths is our protection. That's where we come from, that's where we start. We have a consistent record of high detection and high protection on the endpoints. And just to show that, you can see here, it's not just 1 month we do well or 1 quarter we do well. We do consistently well over a long period of time. What we've also built upon is our ability to protect against the more advanced attacks that come along. We, AV Comparators here, did a test against real world type APTs, advanced persistent threats, and clearly the screen shows we did very, very well against that, detecting at many, many different levels along the way. MITRE have created something called ATT&CK. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I would suggest it's well worth reviewing. MITRE ATT&CK is a knowledge base, thesaurus, dictionary. What they've tried to do is they've tried to break down attacks into their different methods and techniques rather than the specifics of a single piece of malware. And what they've done is they've done some testing, and they've created a website that shows you a lot of detail on this. And here, when they did our testing, when they tested us, they showed how effective we were at those different phases and different stages of the attack. I certainly recommend that the website is well worth reviewing, well worth looking at. It gives you a lot of really good, useful information to investigate and understand what's going on out there. So, as an MSP, what do we see and what do we hear from our existing partners and customers as to their challenges? Firstly, the threat landscape is becoming more and more challenging. There's a lot more to deal with out there. Skills, they're finding it hard to get the right people to be able to do the job. That's true of end users and large organizations. And just trying to manage the multiple customers with their different environments is becoming a real challenge for them, especially when customers are changing their environments. They've got hybrid environments, and everything is continually on the move. It becomes very, very difficult to secure and protect it. How can Bitdefender help the MSP? How can we help you to better protect your customers? We have GravityZone. GravityZone is a cloud-based endpoint protection environment. What it does is it builds on our strengths of prevention. That is our key strength. If you can prevent it, it can it reduces the need for work and effort to take further action. If we can't prevent it, we can detect it and give you that visibility into what's going on. We then give you the ability to respond through the interface. We can also provide services to back you up and help you there. And one of the things that makes GravityZone a little different to some of the others out there is we've got risk analytics built into it, and we've got the ability there to harden your endpoint environment to stop incidents occurring in the first place. I'll discuss a lot of these in a little bit more detail as we move forward. The key thing is this is all built upon our advanced threat intelligence that we're gathering. We have the Global Protective Network, which is one of the largest out there. Not many people realize and know that. This is being fed with information from our own customers' endpoints through to our partners' endpoints as well. We are gathering a lot of information about what's going on out there and the way attacks are morphing and changing. We have over 500 million endpoints reporting into this, providing information to us. We can provide this threat intelligence as we do to customers directly, but in this particular case, this is the basis of GravityZone. So within GravityZone, we have all of these different elements that you see on the screen here. Now, not all of them are relevant to all customers. They're not perhaps needed in all environments, and that's one of the beauties of what we do. Each of these can be turned on or off as required and as needed. So what we have is we have one single console that you can log in. It's multi-tenanted, so you can control what each of your customers can do, can see. You could even set policies at the top level and enforce those below. So it is very, very flexible. What you can do is the elements in blue are the basic elements that are included. You still can decide whether you want to use them or not. What we then have is we have extra layers, optional add-ons, and you can see how easy it is to use these in a few moments. So one of the popular ones is patch management. This all builds into the one single agent. You can turn on patch management that will work with and patch up to about 150 different applications out there, not just Windows, but the apps that run under Windows, Adobe applications, Java, etc. We've got advanced threat security, which includes HyperDetect and a sandbox. HyperDetect is our advanced machine learning. We have machine learning in the basic anti-malware agent, but what we've done is we've enhanced that capability, and we give you the ability, or the user the ability, to adjust how aggressive it might be. Clearly, if you make it more aggressive, the risk of false positive does increase. That's always going to be the case, but you can adjust it for your environment. The sandbox will automatically submit files and you will get a report back into the GravityZone interface. We have endpoint detection and response. So again, this is another layer. It's another service that you can add on to add value to your customer environment and provide that extra layer of protection. You can add on full disk encryption. This gives you the ability to enforce encryption and actually control the keys as well on both Windows and Macs. We also have email security. We have the ability to protect on-premise exchange, and obviously that is becoming less and less popular, and people are using Office 365 and Gmail. We have the options to protect those. The final element we have there is the ability to protect virtualized environments, and we have some unique capabilities there that I will talk about in a few moments. So let me talk in a little bit more detail about some of those key elements, some of those things that I think makes us different from those out there, and hopefully that you would find useful in your environments. So one of the first ones is risk analytics. You can see the screenshot here of what it looks like within our interface. And what it's doing is it's a scan that you can run on machines. You can schedule it or you can run it ad hoc, and it will do an analysis of the machine. It will look for misconfiguration. So it uses Microsoft Security Baseline as part of this, and we've added others in that that our labs think appropriate. So it will scan the machine. It will tell you, I think you should have these on. It gives you detail as to the whys and the wherefores. And then what you can do is, in many cases, you can automatically fix these directly from the GravityZone interface. It will make those changes for you. In the cases where we can't do that, we give you enough information for you to be able to go and make those changes elsewhere. Very often it's going to be through a group policy. We can also scan your machine. This is separate to the patch management piece. This element is included as standard within the product. This will scan your machine for applications that have CVEs associated with them. So those that have known vulnerabilities associated with them, and it will give you that information back for you then to take further action. If you have our patch management capability within the console, you can use that to patch those apps directly from this interface. The final one is a human risk piece where we're highlighting individual users that perhaps are more susceptible to phishing emails and the like, and human related where people haven't changed their password for a while, etc. So all of this information is displayed within this one dashboard, and you can click anywhere on here and drill down further to get far more detail and far more information. Our advanced threat security is, we have made it an additional option because it's not always appropriate for every customer. Some of this will need a little bit of tuning and a little bit of tweaking. Clearly, as a service provider, you can offer that for the customer, or the end customer can do it themselves. So this is another layer that's giving that extra layer of protection, looking for those more advanced threats that might be more targeted than the general attacks seen out there. Endpoint detection and response has become very popular these days. We have built it in. Once again, there are products out there that are pure EDR products. We have this as part of the same agent, part of the same interface. It's all one element, and you can simply turn this on for your customers. If they don't want to use it, leave it off. If they do want to use it, or you want to use it to offer it as a value add, you simply select a box and turn it on from the interface. The nice thing here is it gives you the incident visualization. So where there is something suspicious going on, potentially the early stages of an attack, we can flag that up and give that in a very visual way, giving you a lot of detail within the interface. Where we've actually blocked something, we can actually give you the root cause analysis. So you can see very quickly and very easily, this particular machine did something, they clicked on this, and it did this, it affected these other files. So there's a lot of detail and a lot of information in there, and we make it very, very easy to use, and we give you information without you having to go off and search elsewhere for that information. Some of the services that we can offer to help, a variety here displayed on the screen. We can help you with the threat hunting. If you have any unusual bits of malware, we can help you with those as well by using our people that have expert skills in doing that analysis for you. Clearly, I suspect you are seeing more and more of your customers moving things to cloud. And what is going on here is tools that were built for on-premise physical environments aren't always suitable for using in cloud. We've adjusted and designed our features that they will work well in the cloud, and they are managed from that same interface. So you can manage your cloud environment and your on-premise physical environment and your virtual environment all from the same interface. Makes it very quick, very easy, less skills to learn up. Once you're skilled up on GravityZone, you can manage your whole environment from there. As you see from here, we tie in very closely with VMware, with Citrix and Nutanix. We allow you to protect those environments with a couple of very different features. One of the things we can do is we can stand up a virtual machine that will do the heavy lifting. So what it means is this virtual machine here has a very lightweight agent installed on it, and this does all the heavy lifting. This has significant performance advantages. We've got a report done by VSI Login that goes into the detail of this, and we'd be more than happy to share that with you. The end result is that you can typically get more guests on the same hardware by using this method that is managed through GravityZone. So there can be significant cost savings associated with this and by using this, as well as improved and increased security. So as I've just said, this is all done through that one GravityZone interface. You can see exactly what's going on, and it gives you that management interface to see and understand exactly how your VDIs are working. It works well from a VDI perspective that as soon as a virtual desktop is destroyed, the license is freed up. So you don't have those licensing issues and challenges there. From an email security perspective, as I mentioned earlier, we've always been able to protect Exchange on-premise, which is clearly one of the leading email products over the years. But there is more and more of a move to the cloud, where people are using Office 365, Gmail, etc. We now have an option within GravityZone that allows you to protect those environments very quickly and very easily. It is really simply a case of pointing your MX record to our environment. This will work pretty much out of the box, so to say. You can then go in and customize it very quickly, very easily. And as you can see from here, it is a drag and drop type environment where you can create your own rules on top of those other rules. It has a very, very strong protection capability. And once again, it is the Bitdefender threat intelligence that sits behind all of this. Within this, there is time of click prevention. So if an attachment comes through, the user will get something like this, and they will get a link. They will click on that, and it will do the checking at the point in time that they click on this. This is very important because this whole environment is very dynamic and changes. So yesterday that site may have been safe, today it's not. So this does an up-to-the-date check on it. Likewise, you can see here we're using many methods to analyze the messages to try and decide if it's good or bad. Is it phishing? What's going on? So very, very powerful piece, very easy to set up, very easy to use, and ties into the GravityZone interface. So just going on, all of these features are great, but how easy it is for you to bring your customers on board, to get them up and running. To be honest, it's very quick and easy. So from your perspective in terms of setting them up, you can simply set them up within this interface. This is the GravityZone interface. It looks very much the same at whatever level you're working. And it's just the menu on the left that changes. So in this particular case, I'm onboarding a customer. They are a customer rather than a partner. We have that option as well. We can enable two-factor authentication, and we can tie in with other authentication methods as well. And then what you can do is you set it up for monthly subscription. There are various options there that you can set, but this is where you can add those additional options. It really is that quick and easy. You can select them from here, and it all goes into the billing system that gets handled automatically, and you get billed for what you are using. So it's really a case of selecting the options that your customer wants, needs, or requires. You can even then give them an account into here so they can get in. You can determine how much they can actually do, whether they've just got view rights or whether they've got full control. Again, that's always going to vary from business to business. And then we have the dashboard here. This can show a variety of different elements. Here I'm just showing the endpoint protection status. This can show over all the customers I'm managing, or just one particular customer in one that you may want to see. You can see the monthly license usage here. So very quick and easy to see what's being used. So you don't get any shocks at the end of the month. Here you can see what's actually happened and gone on. This interface is customizable. You can scroll down through it. You can decide what you want to see on this particular interface. Very tunable, very customizable. So in summary, GravityZone sits in the cloud. It's all run on the back of AWS. We've got over 20,000 MSP partners that actually use this technology, so it's well tested, well proven. All of those different elements that I spoke about are available to you. You can decide on an as-needs basis and even on a monthly basis what do you want to use, how do you want to use it. And you can decide what is appropriate for your customers. So that, very briefly, very quickly, is GravityZone, what it's all about. FieldTrust are our partner in the Benelux region, as Bart mentioned at the start. If you have any questions or want any more information, please feel free to contact them with the details as you see on the screen here. Meanwhile, let me just check and see if any questions have cropped up.
Hi, Dave. We have actually a few questions here.
Okay, great.
First question is, are there trials available for GravityZone?
Absolutely. If you contact FieldTrust, they can help you get set up. It is very quick and very easy to set up because everything's in the cloud. What you can do is you can get access to a GravityZone interface. You then download and install an agent on however many machines you want to. It really is that quick, that easy. There is a default policy built in that all the machines will be given when they first start up, or what you can do, well, what you would do then from then on is you would take that policy, adjust it to your needs and requirements, and you can even change the default policy such that as an MSP, you've got customer A, customer B, and customer C. Each of those could inherit a different policy when their machines come on board.
All right, thank you. A second question, is there a minimum order for monthly subscription?
Yes, it is. I believe it's about 100 agents.
Okay, thank you. Another one, do I need to install something locally to manage my endpoints?
Other than installing the agent on the endpoint, no, is the short answer. If you are running your virtualized environment, you may need to load up, or you may want to load up, it's not mandatory, you may want to load up the virtual machine that does the protection. But we provide that as an OVA that you, OVA, VHD, whichever, we are agnostic in that respect to the hypervisor. We have a number of options available. You download the appropriate one and load it up into your environment. That's the only extra thing you may need to install in your environment.
All right. Next question. What is the performance influence of a Bitdefender client on a machine?
That's a very difficult one to answer because it very much depends upon exactly what your machine is doing and which of the different elements you have turned on. As a general rule, we tend to be pretty lightweight. Clearly, we are going to use resources. There's no getting away from that. We do give some guidance in terms of network traffic and requirements on the endpoint within our installation guide.
Okay. Another question here. As a reseller, can my end customers use GravityZone themselves?
Yes, there are options for that. Again, once again, FieldTrust can help you with that.
All right. And then I have a last question here. Can GravityZone be easily installed on larger networks?
Absolutely. This is clearly one of the plus points of cloud, that it will be scaled behind the scenes and it will be appropriate for the number of agents that you have and install. We have a whole array of customers out there using any different sizes of environments. So we have no problem with size or scale.
Okay, and another one popped up here. How about uninstalling competitive vendors while installing Bitdefender?
So we have an option that when you install us, it will attempt to uninstall any incumbent in there. What we do is we do try and, well, we call their uninstaller package. Clearly, if your existing agent is password protected, you need to make sure you remove that before we do this. But we will call their uninstall package, uninstall their agent, and then install the Bitdefender agent. The other option we have is you can effectively install the Bitdefender agent alongside the existing agent. It will sit there effectively doing nothing until you remove the incumbent. Clearly, running two anti-malware agents on the same machine is never a good idea. So, but that gives you that flexibility to get the code onto the machine, then uninstall the other agent, maybe through their management tool before ours kicks in and starts taking control of the machine.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions for the moment. I don't know if you have anything more to share, David?
No, I've got nothing else. I hope you found this session useful and informative. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you very much, David.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a nice day ahead.